say property law. Property law, isn't it? You might not think, why should that have anything to do with sports? Sport is sport, property is property. But every sport is played somewhere, except for maybe video poker, which I don't know if it's a sport, but everything else is played somewhere. So what if you have a stadium where you have lights on? And those lights impact the neighbors, wouldn't they? In fact, there was a case, I didn't bring it to class, but I saw it the other day. Maybe I might have it here. I'll take a look in just a second. Involving New Britain Rockcats, where they were sued because they wanted to have these fireworks displays after their games. And they wanted to have it on a regular basis. And the neighbors sued, saying that that impacts their ability to enjoy their property, because from this amount of time to this amount of time, they're not going to be able to enjoy their property because there's fireworks. Now, I might say, hell, I'm going to enjoy those fireworks, I'm going to watch them. But these people said, no, we think it harms the value of our house, and they sued and the court agreed with them. The same thing happened with Fairfield. Anyone here from Fairfield University? No? They put in some lights for their intramural fields. And they got the approval to put in lights. But the lights were so bright and had what's called spillover effect that the neighbors sued, and there was a judge who went into one of the houses, sat down, opened up the blinds, and was able to read the newspaper without any lights on in the house. He put a restraining order on the school saying you cannot operate it after 8 o'clock at nighttime, because that will impact little Johnny trying to go to sleep because all this light that's in his room, or little Sally in her room. That is property law, and it could be anything from the smell to noise. There's a property facility called the Connecticut Sportsplex in North Branford, Connecticut, which has softball fields and things like this. And they are only allowed to have their lights on until 11 o'clock at night. Why? Because there's a farmer down the hill who says if the lights are on after 11 o'clock at night, his cows get upset and they don't produce as good milk the next day. And so at 11:01, ring 911, they get a phone call from the farmer saying the lights are on in the fields. So even if it's the middle of a game, you're going to have the police coming up there saying, I hate to do this to you. I know it's, the bottom of the 9th inning, trying to finish up the game here. You got to finish it up. That's property law. It also deals with other things such as, variance. Can you build something in a given area? So you might say, look, we want to build a stadium here. Well, what if it's only designated zone for residential use? You have to get a variance to do that. You have to go through the legislative process. You might have to go through city council. You might have to do all these different things in order to get that kind of variance. It's a headache, isn't it? And so I had to do this one time on the noise side with a professional soccer team I represented. And they wanted to hold a Beach Boys concert after one of their games. And the city, this is a city in California, came back and said, well, the problem is that's going to be nighttime, and we have a noise ordinance that there cannot be any amplified sound after 9 o'clock at night in our city. So we hate to tell you this, but you can't put on the concert. And so I thought about it for a little bit, researched the law, researched what they're doing and stuff like this. And they in fact had that law on the books. So I contacted the city attorney and said, you know what? I agree it's on the books. But you enforce it to everyone. And he said, of course we do. I said, really? Okay, because you have 4 grocery stores that are open till 10 o'clock during the week, and they make announcements on amplified systems when they're going to be closing, right? And I could see on his mind that, oh, shh, kind of thing. And I started going through all these examples of different businesses in the town and said, if you're going to apply that to us, you have to apply it to everyone in town, and I want to see that you in fact do that, because otherwise this is selective enforcement of the law, which is a violation of the law. We got our permit to hold the Beach Boys concert. You know, so this is the kind of stuff that you have to think about. Property law does impact the sport industry and on the facility side in major ways. So that